presentation to be wow, right? And when you have things that is S.P.Y put together, the information it becomes sticky, right? It becomes sticky. You know, the information stick to your audience. That create a lasting impression. Okay, and so I call that S.P.Y strategy for high impact presentation. And this S.P.Y strategy for high impact presentation, the strategy itself anchored on 2 stages, stage 2 and stage 3. And that's how you kind of work with that strategy to get you to simplify information, get you to exciting information, stage 2 and stage 3. And when you apply the S.P.Y strategy, it makes your idea stick. It makes it sticky. It makes people wow. Right? And that brings you back to the core concept of visual impact. Let's talk a little about presenters. Right? So sometimes you are presenters, right? Sometimes you are audience. Today you are audience. I am the presenter. But sometimes when you are presenting in your company or in meetings, or sometimes you present a seminar or conference, you are the presenter, correct? You are the presenter. Let me ask you, what type of presenters are you? What types of presenters? So I will classify under, of course there are many types, right? But I'm classified under 2 types, right? Is it average or the greatest, right? Is it average or the greatest? I won't ask you what type you are, right? Maybe let me ask you, what type of presenter you want to be? Is it average or greatest? Okay, right. What type of presenter you want to be? Average or greatest? Okay, write it on the chat. Let me know, right? Yeah, correct. Some of you say want to be average. Why do you want to be average? Okay, maybe currently you are average, but you don't want to be average. You want to be excellent. You want to be the greatest presenter, because if you strive to be the greatest, sometimes you fall back, right? You might not reach there, 100%, but sooner or later you might reach there, slowly inch. But if you just say, I want to be average, then you will be like below average, because not every time, the first time we try, we get there, right? So you must aim for the highest. The greatest presenter. Then if you're not the greatest, then we become a great presenter, right? Not the greatest yet, but the great. But as you go on, you might become the greatest one day. Right? Yes. So I want every one of you here to say that I want to be the greatest presenter. Write it on the chat. I want to be the greatest presenter. Write on the chat. Because when you write it, you would strive to be the greatest presenter. Okay. Yes, good. Write it on the chat. I want to be the greatest presenter. Wonderful. Okay, so what's an average presenter, right? What's an average presenter? So let me show you an example. This is an average presenter. An average joke. Anyone out there you see today in presentation, 80% of presentation are frustrating. Because why? Either they are bad presenters, they have bad slides, or they are just average. Average presenter. Right? Average presenter. Are there greatest presenter? Are there a great presenter in this world? Yes, there are. There are many examples that you can see. There are many examples that you can see. Okay. How many of you use use a iPhone? How many of you use an iPhone? Write on the chat. iPhone. If you use an iPhone, write on the chat. iPhone. Okay. Right. How many of you use a Apple product? Let's say a MacBook. A product from Apple. If you are, write Apple on the chat. Oppo. Okay, so there are many people who use different things. Like one is Apple, one is Oppo, some are Android, some are PC. Okay, so if for those of you who use Apple, or maybe those of you who are not using Apple at the moment, You might know this person. Who is this? He's Steve Jobs, right? Steve Jobs is the greatest presenter. To me, he is the greatest presenter because he can sell you things, from his keynote presentation, that you don't know that you need it. You don't even know that you need it. When he present, immediately after the presentation, he said, I want what he is sharing with me. I want the ideas that he have. He's such the greatest showman, right? So when you want to be a great presenter, you don't want to be a presenter anymore. You want to be a showman, because showmanship is very powerful. Showmanship is not just your slide. It's how you present as well. How you talk to your audience, how you engage, and how you wow. Not just your slide, but the slide plus the person. It's very important. You want to be